And hello, everybody. Look at Sean looking in his camera, combing his hair, trying to look all beautiful. This is Tom Chenault. This is Adrian Chenault. We're not brothers. He's my son. And this
Oh
is
my gosh.
it's the Legacy Leadership Radio Show. What does legacy mean? So we have got one of the great guys of network marketing on the show today, one of the servant leaders of all time. And I'm just so happy because I love him. And I posted a picture a little earlier today, trying to drive all of you to this show. And I thought I would tag everybody I know. And I tagged 66 people and only got through the B's. So anybody that's on here that wants to kill me because I tagged them, just it's your fault because your name starts with an A or a B. It was hysterical. I cannot believe how many people I want, like Rob Cordinas and Mar Mendoza and Chad Williams and Christina Zaharia. I just want you to know I love you guys, and that's why I want you to listen. But the picture I put up was you and I in Dallas, and when you finally came to see me in the middle of the night after begging you all day long, and then 2 days, so he's like a block away. Oh yeah, well I'm busy. I'm going, Sean. I'll stay up till 2 a.m. All I want to do is have a cup of coffee with you. And he hits me with, oh, I'm talking to, Lisa Grossman and Curtis Broom, and I'm more important. Hello, Neil. At the end of the day, we had a wonderful time. But then we got together 3 days later for breakfast with Amber, who has passed. Al Bala, Johanna's daughter-in-law, and Andres's beautiful, beautiful wife with those 4 kids. And I think back about that. I thought about it a lot today of how precious life is and how all of us have to understand that. And don't worry about the cheap stuff. And it's all cheap stuff. And if anybody's good at keeping me in perspective, it's Sean Murphy. I love this guy. He got so mad at me one time. He was purple because I have a tendency to find a scab and pick it. But we got over that. And it's just been nothing but fun. Do you love the guy or is it just me?
Nah, it's just you.
Oh, good.
I love him so much. He's just somebody that if you are in his presence, you are going to come away feeling better about yourself, which is a big part of what we are about. And you're going to come away not just like happy horse manure feeling better about yourself. You're going to come away like vibrationally at a new level because of being around this guy. And he spent some time with a group of our top contact mappers recently. And he just blew the roof off the place.
I can't tell you how much they loved you. I mean, again, I wasn't surprised. Yes, I was, but not that. I mean, unbelievable. And you just are. You never cease to amaze me. And I'm a hot mess that doesn't. I do not prepare. I am good on my feet, but not as good as I could be if I were a Sean Murphy. And what I love about you is you are a very prepared, very polished hot mess, and that takes some doing. And thank you for that. You're my idol, sir. And how you doing?
I'm doing outstanding. Thank you for this. Thank you for everybody who shares. And for everybody that shows up here, I really need you to just take a second because your day was busy. You may have had it on your schedule, but you made a choice to be here and you made a choice to show up and you made a choice to support. Right now in this world, in this time, in this century, we need more of that. And so you're one of the legacy leavers for you showing up here because you left your mark. And I just want to say thank you to everybody. I want to say thank you to Tom having the longest running radio show in our profession, in the history of our profession, which means him and Methuselah started off tapping on stones together. And from there, it only got better. So I just want to say thank you to you, Tom, for you and I have shared some amazing stories. We've shared some incredible breakfasts, some late dinners. And we've had some people show up in our world at those moments where you and I were having conversations, and they couldn't say thank you to you enough for being courageous enough to stand on your own 2 feet, to go through the living hell that you've gone through, and to laugh about it and still bring about it and bring about joy. And then all of the stuff you do behind the scenes for people who struggle with moments in their life where a decision could change their life. I want to say thank you to you for that. And for then deciding to move along into business with the smarter of the 2 people sitting in the chairs right there and deciding that in that moment, you're going to support a dream. You're going to have a dream come true. Most dads never get a chance to work with their sons, let alone even get to know their sons. So I hope everybody just takes a moment. And we know Tom is Tom, and Tom will always be Tom. And God forbid Tom ever changes. The fact that these two have been able to, the oil and water, get together and create this unity of this amazing dressing of life called joy and happiness, I'm just honored to be here. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, okay, that's good. And you know, that's the truth. I feel like I've known him all his life, and he's almost been alive as long as Ron Henley has been in network marketing. Shout out to Ron Henley out there in the world. He just crossed 41 years in this great profession. That is such a big deal. And Sean, so one time, Sean and I were down in Dallas, Texas, and we're in another hotel, and he's surrounded by fans. And I go sit down with him for a few minutes, and over comes a network marketing icon. And he walks over and he just hugs Sean like you would not believe. And he hugged the women, and then he hugged me. And then he went on his way. And that was great. But we just noticed one thing. The bottle of cologne that he put on his head right before he walked out was still hanging on all of us. And we were just freaking. So
Still have the clothes.
Yeah. So we burned the clothes, but we got home and I just went to the store and went to the dollar store and bought a bottle of that perfume. And I just stuck it in a box and I sent it to him, and I poured it on the outside and sent it to Sean and signed the guy's name. And it was one of the great days of my life because he thought he got the gift from the guy. And, you know, Sean is one of those guys in this business that is a friend for life. And never forget it, you guys. And you want to follow him because he makes the important fun. He makes the important worth it. And my friend Chad Williams gets up in the middle of the night to listen to Sean on a regular basis. Chad doesn't listen to me. He listens to Sean. Sean is an icon and a gift to the planet that all of you need to pay attention to. So that's the story, right?
That's 100% the story. And Daniela said, who is this Sean person? She's awesome. I just think she is one of the coolest people, and I would never have gotten to meet her if it weren't for you, Sean. And let's talk about that for a second, your daily awakening. So first of all, what episode number are you on right now?
Getting the hang of it. 1,165 was today's show, and it's all about it's all about mentorship
without interruption consecutive. I'm sorry.
The first 6 months was 5 days in a row. Then somebody said, "Could you do it 7 days?" They're no longer on the show, by the way. But I said, "Yeah, I'll start doing it 7 days a week." So I've been doing it 7 days a week. Yes, for at least 800 shows.
There's some mastery there.
It is. And the thing is that you always wonder, how do you come up with a new topic? Well, you know as well as anybody, and Tom knows as well as anybody, when you're in service and when you have to go do it. Now, I will tell you, there's days it's like, one day, I sometimes, if I'm like 6:02, because we do meditation at 6 a.m., then we start the show at 6:30 for my VIP group. If I'm at 6:02, I get messages from people. Did he stop doing the calls? I've done 1,000 of them. I'm not stopping. I'm just maybe a little late, slept in, forgot to hit the button.
Holy mackerel. Well, you're making a difference out there. How do people get a hold of you?
They can go to Sean G. Murphy Now on IG, Sean G. Murphy Now at IG, or they can go to the website, SeanGMurphy.com, and get enrolled there. And I don't do a whole lot of emails out, but what I do send out is for messages like shows like this, for lessons that I learned from my mentors and my teachers. So it's not a whole broadcast thing. So some of you will learn about the ranch that we just bought and the ability to come out there eventually. So yeah, just we can have some fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Speaking of which, so talk, what do we got? We got time. Talk about this ranch, and I'm going to actually snag a picture. We're going to throw a picture that you posted, I think yesterday, up on the screen. That is now, that's like, I just centered it on my vision board. Go hang out with Sean here. That's basically the totality of my vision. Talk about what you're doing, Sean.
So the ranch is up in Arkansas, just a little bit north of Little Rock, and was drawn there because I have some other very dear friends who are on the other side of the lake, if you will. And my mission has always been to have a place to where I can bring people in and you can kind of just unplug, literally unplug. I grew up on the farm. Most people don't know that. I grew up on a beef cattle farm. And so I was raised as a farm boy, throwing bales of hay and chickens and horses and pigs and all of that stuff. And I've always wanted to get back there. And now when I get back there, we'll have some animals, kind of like a petting zoo. But the real thing is to be the mental Sherpa for people, is to carry the load for them just a little bit while they get unstuck. The whole thing that we talk about is people talk about their comfort zone. Well, if it was such a GD comfort zone, then why would anybody ever want to leave it? And I get frustrated when I hear people say, I got to get out of my comfort zone. You're not in a comfort zone. You're in a pain zone you've become numb to, so therefore you've decided to stay there. And the sheer fear of going after what you dream of makes you think this pain place that you're in is this comfort zone. So what I've decided to do is to use the ranch, with a little nudging from my bride, is to use the ranch as a place for us to be able to go have some of these one-on-one conversations, these one-on group conversations. And we've got the first event happening here in 17 days is the first 16 days. The first event is happening. 20 people are coming in, and we're going to have some one-on-one time and some leadership and team building time. And they're from all different companies and all different races and all different locations. Some of them have never seen the stars, my friend. So it's going to be fun.
So here's a little snap of what those friends have to look forward to coming up here in 16 days, and I'll color.
It looks like a postcard, doesn't it? That's really
I saw it again. I went, I just got to make sure that's not a stock photo.
No, that's literally the deck. Yeah, that's literally the deck that was built just days ago. It just finished. Not even that deck isn't even a week old. And we've got 2 more chairs, so now we can have 3 people sitting on the deck.
That's so cool.
Is that Grossman Reservoir out there?
That is the same reservoir that they are on, yes, called Greer's Ferry Lake. Yep.
Unbelievable. This thing is going to be the network marketer water and retreat paradise after Sean Murphy gets done. And it's just extraordinary what I called you on the phone and I said, what on earth? You are building a dream of epic proportion. How did you even figure that out? How did you get the dirt? How did you get the money? I mean, I am in shock and awe, and I love. Well,
here's the thing about the dirt. This whole thing about how much time do we have left?
We don't. We're going to take a quick break. We're on the Genesis Communication Network. We're coming back.
We love Genesis Communication
with Sean Murphy and Tom Chenault and Adrian.
I was so mesmerized, I just wasn't paying attention to the clock. I should probably put it up here on the screen. What do you think?
It kind of helps me when I have an idea when we're going to a break, but I'm a radio guy.
You are. It's amazing. This was actually a grand experiment. I didn't hold his hand, and he did it.
The break?
The break.
Yeah, plus the picture on the screen of the retreat place. That was off the chart. That was a new one. All right, we're coming back right now. And we're back. It is the Legacy Leadership Radio Show with Adrian and Tom Chenault. And one of the friends of the show, one of our biggest supporters through everything we've ever done, contact mapping, through friendships, through highs, through lows, through troubled waters for me. Adrian doesn't have many problems because I solve them all. But no, I'm kidding.
He normally calls about you.
Yeah. So I am just telling you, Sean Murphy's the man. And he was getting ready to tell us a story, and I cut him off. So take it away, Sean.
Well, the land that you see, the land that we purchased, the funny thing is we talk about having definiteness of purpose, and we talk about having faith. And this land started a year ago, the conversations, literally the beginning of May, a year ago. And we had the contract inked, and we had one thing done, and it was taken away. And literally, it was never coming back. And then it came back a second time. Around July, it came back, and they said, listen, we want to negotiate again. And we got to listen, there's moments in your life when your dream is there, right? They talk about real estate. Don't get emotionally attached. Well, you saw that picture. It's easy to get emotionally attached to that. But when you have your non-negotiables, Long story short, it came back to us. The owners had dinner with us in December, and they said, you know what? This is key, ladies and gentlemen, and it still exists out there. You and I shook hands on this back in May. He said, and I got to keep my agreement to you because you've kept your agreement to me. And December 16th, we sent them a check, and we now have 30 acres of land to go play on and do things with. So I want everybody to know that sometimes, right, we all talk about the dreams come true, and everybody posts these pictures on Instagram of somebody's rented boat or this, that, or the other. Sometimes you're going to have to get your hands dirty in the dirt and just keep your promise. And that's what this show is about helping people teach others, show others that legacy is through leadership, but the ones who are leaving the legacy are the ones who are leading themselves, and they're not out for a walk. That's why we get to call them leaders.
Yeah, you're so right. And being willing and able and unwavering in planting that flag in the ground and saying this will come to pass, and following through on that. We were talking to Marina Wari last week.
Love her.
The building project of all time. You see this again and again, right? Leaders set a vision, they tell the world, and then they go and make it happen. And you just proved it again, that's what it comes down to. That's what it takes, because the universe does not just roll out the red carpet when you say you have a dream. Quite the opposite most of the time, right?
Well, and listen, let's be very clear for everybody that's listening, thinking, well, every time we hear these leaders who stand up, they've been through such hell and back. I promise you, there's only a handful of stories of your dads that I would ever want to have to live through. The rest of them, not so much. There's stories you've gone through, Adrian. And so every time we hear these leaders stand up, there's people who sit out there who have had a above average life. That's not the average they want to live at. That's the average they're stuck at. And they say, well, I must have to go through pain. No, the reason these leaders stand on stage is because they finally drew a line in the sand. There's 2 times that you have a line in the sand. It's the day you say you've had enough, or the day puts you face down in a gutter, drunk, and somebody says, I'm done with you. And you decide that's it. It's the day I was 14 years old when things happened in my family, and I said, I will never have another bad day. That opportunity exists. The universe is not out testing you. The universe doesn't have a sense of humor. It has a sense of direction. And as soon as you decide which direction you want to go, and as you said, Adrian, plant your flag, lock your feet in the ground. Too many people are living on roller skates when they need some spikes on the shoes. And when they plant their feet and plant themselves and put their shoulder to work and move forward, it isn't an easy dream. What you want isn't easy. It's simple as soon as you make the decision. Napoleon Hill said, have your definite major purpose. And when you do that, life seems to get easier. And we go, oh my God, they're so lucky. Luck is only showing up because we made it available to us.
Very, very well said. You mentioned the man, Napoleon Hill. I think on the other side of this break, let's go there, because I know masterminding is a huge part of what you are up to and where you're pouring a huge amount of your energy. It certainly fits into what you've got coming up here in several weeks' time up at the ranch. And there is big, big value to be created there. And I'm only really beginning to fully understand that myself. And so we're going to talk about that on the other side of the break.
It's kind of where your life's headed too. So here's the deal. You guys love this shirt. We've got hoodies like that, the whole shot. The person who can guess who introduced me to Sean Murphy gets 5 shirts.
5 shirts.
5 shirts.
Wow.
Nobody will guess it. Nobody will guess it. Sean doesn't even. It's almost like a Napoleon Hill. You guys are going to speak up when we tell you. And I know you can think about it a little bit, but I'm telling you what, it is one of the wackadoodles of my life that introduced me to him, who is one of the characters of all time. And you're just never going to believe it when I tell you the story. We're coming back right after this.
Cliffhanger and everything.
Cliffhanger.
Seasoned pro right there.
Matt Jameson. I've known you for so many years, and until 2 days ago, I thought you lived in Moncton, Canada, all your life, and I find out that you came from Boston, and you've always looked like one of those little Boston brawlers. And to see that on Facebook after knowing you for 20 years was stunning. So thank you for putting that up, because I had no idea, and I'm happy for your life that you're living similar to Sean's life to do. So
Love Matthew. He's amazing.
we coming back?
Well, yeah, we blew through that one.
I
So
just
we're
blew
gonna,
through
we're
it.
gonna add an extra 30 seconds.
The Matt Jameson,
Matt Jameson
shout out.
shout out.
That cost me $20
Yeah.
with the producer, Tom Sheffield,
Oh.
who, by the way, we love with all of our heart. And Tom Sheffield, let me tell you about him. No, he just got a new job. Congratulations with that. We're coming back right after this. Nobody talk. And we're back. It's the Legacy Leadership Show with the icon, with the man, with the, not the memory, the relevant Sean Murphy. And Adrian wants to talk about Napoleon Hill a little bit, so we're going to go there. But I also want to segue that into the ANMP, because you are the king of bringing people to the ANMP and putting the spotlight on it. And I was just on a board meeting there, and they just said, we can't do this without Sean. So I wanted you to know that. I want to talk about it, talk about Napoleon Hill a little.
Yeah, Sean, you are somebody who has really personally invested yourself into surrounding yourself in being in mastermind circles with some really, really high-powered people. And I have now gotten to watch, I'm sure it's not the first time you have done it. However, I've really gotten to bear witness to what you have been creating in this new mastermind that you've been working on over the last year or so. Why is I guess, first of all, what is masterminding? Because not everyone knows what that is. And then why has that been so important for you?
So I hope everybody, we've all heard of the term mastermind, and we all want to go to a mastermind, and we all say we're a part of a mastermind. And there's a few things in life that can't be diluted. And when it gets diluted, the second you add a drop of water to it, it's no longer the same chemical. And mastermind is one of those things. We all talk about a mastermind. A mastermind is the difference between perfect harmony and average harmony. Everybody has this conversation when they talk about this idea of perfect harmony. They're saying they're in a mastermind. A mastermind, listen, when they asked Carnegie, they said, what do you know about steel? When Hill asked him that, he said, I don't know much. He said, well, then how do you do it? He says, I have my mastermind of 20 people who know everything about it. He goes, that's all you do? He said this, have you ever tried to get 20 people to work in perfect harmony? That's a true mastermind. Everybody has social conversations and connections. A mastermind is when two people get together, a third mind is created, but there's benefit for both. The challenge most people have, and our profession is very, I'm just going to say, is riddled with people who have masterminds who put in a criteria of this is what you need to do to get into the mastermind. It's not what you do, it's who you're becoming. So a mastermind is a group of individuals who decide together that they're going to work on their vision, their definite major purpose, and they're aligned in that vibrational success, still working on their own path, allowing each to have access, here's the thing, access to all of the resources that anyone has, all have. And in this world of selffulness, where people become selfish, the masterminds don't work. And we wonder why people struggle in their current situation. We wonder why when people call people mentors and they're being should all over, that's really not the idea that was a mastermind was created. It's kind of like sometimes how people take the text of the Bible to fit their own little genre, their own little niche. Same thing happens with the word mastermind. It's the true ones that you don't know about. Those are the ones that are serving the world, and we don't ever hear about them. Why? Because they don't make it a public thing.
That's pretty powerful. And so you have been part of a mastermind with Kyle Wilson, with is Babette part of it? I know she's part of the newest book. Is she part of your mastermind?
She comes and has conversations. She's an amazing soul. I love her to death. And she's got great link through of course Les Brown, who pops into the masterminds on a regular basis. So yeah.
So you've been part of a really tight group led by Kyle Wilson, facilitated by Kyle Wilson for many years. And what has that done in your life, Sean?
It's changed everything. When I launched the Secret Sauce Academy, it was because of Kyle Wilson. When this whole program, when I started talking about the mastermind, and I, because he's a mentor to me, and I said, here's what we're going to do. He says, here's a suggestion. See, the neat thing about mentors is they never really tell you what to do. They see if they throw the bait out and see if you're nibbling on the right path. And he's kind of given me this whole idea to create this mastermind. Again, I've been with his for 7 years. And in that time, the discipline, the marketing, the legacy leadership that he's talked about, I mean, nobody has spent more time with Jim Rohn. The only other living individual who's another friend of the show and friend of all of ours, Larry Thompson, is the only other person alive that's ever spent more time on stage with Jim Rohn. So Kyle is kind of, when you sit and you get him in his element, and he starts telling Jim Rohn, and then you get a Kyle and a Larry who's part of the mastermind. You get a Kyle and a Larry talking about Jim. The lessons that come out are unbelievable. So those are I learned that say who you're going to be, and then don't tell anybody again. You don't need to tell anybody, look what I did. Just go do it. Get out of their ears and into their eyes.
Holy mackerel. Well, Adrian needs to join that mastermind. There's no doubt about it. Kyle Wilson invited me a few years ago. I looked at the list. I was too intimidated to join it. And I'm sitting here and Sean, this was like 3 years ago. And Sean 3 years ago wasn't the man he is today. And as he's speaking, I am reflecting. And I am reflecting on his growth and my lack of. And I am going to tell you one thing right now. I am in awe of you. And that is a call it on myself for being a coward moment. And it just happens to be 100% true. And I didn't even know if I was going to say it, but it is 100% true. And since then, Kyle Wilson's done me a bunch of favors. Even though I didn't join that mastermind, he decided to contribute to me anyway. And that's the mark of a truly humble leader, in my opinion. Somebody with nothing to gain, still going that extra mile to help you out. So tell him I said that, will you please? And
I will.
Get him in, because he's got a lot of years in front of him. And I got a lot of years behind me, and he would be a lot more of a contribution. So yeah, that would be cool. And I love you, Sean.
I love you too. Thank you so much.
So Sean, you've taken that experience, you've taken all the growth and all of the amazing things you've been doing with this Daily Awakening, and you created something new. And I got a peek behind the curtain right before it launched, and man, was I excited by it. Talk about the mastermind that you have created recently and what's been the experience in that space so far.
So what I put together is something, the 12 weeks with Sean.com. And it's a mastermind. It's a 12-week program. You can take it on your own schedule. It's daily videos. It's weekly live calls with me. It's conversations to help you unlock your greatness. It's a 12-week program. And at the end of it, after maybe you haven't finished the course, because it is a daunting course. I kick your butt left, right, and center, because it's not about doing more. The reason that most people struggle, and that's a great way to sell it, right? The reason most people struggle with the course is because it's personal undevelopment. Not personal development, personal undevelopment. I was in a Robbins mastermind, business mastery. And the first 3 days are these 3 questions. Question 1, what business are you in? Question 2, what business are you really in? And question 3, what business do you need to be in 6 months? People struggle with question day 1. I don't give you a chance to have an easy skate through life. You're going to put your cleats on and you're going to get into the dirt, because your life is worth it. There's promises you need to keep. And if in 12 weeks, I can get you to keep promises that you've lied about keeping for the last 12 years, then it's time to get game on, because there is no excuse for you to live less than your dreams. That's an old story. And what I do through either neuroencoding or hypnotherapy or self-talk training, did you know, Tom, I'm now a faculty member of the Self-Talk Institute? Me?
Holy mackerel. How on earth did that? I thought you had to have a high school diploma for that.
I got a high school diploma. They didn't ask about the university.
All right, good. Wow, that is so cool. And Sean, why are you doing all this? I mean, you've made a pile of dough. You have an incredible life. You're sitting around people that are amazing, and you're taking on this huge project of massive amount of dirt, a beautiful retreat center, a commitment for decades with Mason, your son. And did your wife quit, or did she retire?
No, she's in the other room doing her stuff, and she's working on stuff for the event. But no, she has a complete remote job, and no, she still gets to do that. She loves doing that stuff. Her attorney.
Okay, so why are you sticking around and doing it?
Because I gotta, and this may sound pandering. I got to keep up with you. I got to be prepared for Adrian's kids when they come. Amen. This is for my family. This is for my friends. If somebody else happens to see, listen, you don't get into our circles anymore. And this isn't being obnoxious unless you're a friend, because we don't have to say, yeah, we can be nice. We can have social acquaintances, but you're coming to my home. You're coming. I live there. So when you come to this, you got to be family. You're part of a community. And I just said, somebody's got to do it. I could easily sit on the sidelines, and I could do a live. I could go do an interview. I could go do this. But you know what? There's kids out there today who will never get to put a fish on a hook and never be able to. And it's just, why not? I got to do it because part of my mission is to be a better dad, better husband. And I want to be a better husband to my bride, to be able to give her the place so she can see leaves change. We got over 700 trees just on the property proper, not in the woods. I gave her a place to where she can see the leaves change. I want to be a better dad because Mason didn't have the experience I did growing up on the farm chopping wood. He loves to go grab an axe and chop down a tree. Go to your heart's content. So I'm just asking people to join in on my journey.
When I met him, he was like 4, and he wore size 16 shoes. How big are his feet now?
They're size 14s, and he's as the lacrosse goalie for the Hendricks College. He got recruited here in Conway. He's kind of the bigger kid on the squad.
Oh, is that cool enough?
It does help when you can just pretty much it's like an eclipse, right? Like the net is just not really available to the opposing team. That's a good thing.
The offense is going, get out of the way. Get out of the
way. Well, you're a smart guy, and you're an experienced guy. But I want people to look at the joy in his eyes, because the destination isn't it. The destination is joy and love and happy and fun and hanging around with your friends. And you know what I know is that the light is on for Tom and Adrian Chenault at Sean's place whenever we get down there. And I want all of you to create that kind of, Eric's got a great house now, and he's just putting people in there right and left. And all of you could build something like that and teach people. So we're going to come back for the final segment right now. Thanks for listening. We love you.
We got an extra 30 seconds because you blew the last break. So you just tell a joke or something.
Okay, so yeah, or we could come out to our house. That's right. I was actually thinking while I was talking about that is we've kind of created the same kind of environment down here in Longmont, Colorado. Obviously, Adrian's here. He's got a beautiful home. We've got an unbelievable building here, and we've got obviously my new house. And to have it be for that is unbelievable. We'll be back right after this. I almost completely screwed it up again.
Oh, that was awesome.
I know.
All right, we got 30 seconds to come back.
Daniela,
it's more fun than working.
Yeah, this is you guys, the people that are out there commenting and talking to these misfits is so beautiful. And thank you.
It is awesome. All right, we got one last short segment. We're going to rock and roll. This is going to be really fun. So hang tight.
A&MP. And we're coming back, all right? Oh, we're back. We are back. It is the Legacy Leadership Radio Show. We've got Sean Murphy with us. He's the main guy around, really gathering people, promoting people. Just an amazing guy for the A&MP for many, many years. I forgot to tell you how I met Sean. This whack job. Did you guess? Do you want 5 shirts?
he called you and cussed you out. That's
No,
my
that was
recollection.
That was the other way around. That was the second call.
Yeah,
That was the second call. There we
Kiki Wallace.
go. No
Swear
way.
to God, a lunatic. I know, from Longmont, Colorado. Just the most amazing, deep guy I know. Introduced me to Sean many, many years ago around a broken conversation. And I kept Kiki and I kept Sean, and it's been a beautiful deal. So that one I wanted to get out of the way. Nobody won the 5 t-shirts. But the second thing I want to make is this statement about Denise Chenault. My beautiful wife is a featured speaker at GoPro. So if you guys aren't going to GoPro Women, you're out of your mind. Denise will speak along with some of, I can't believe my eyes, the lineup that Eric's got. And now we're going from there to the ANMP, and it is going to make your pants want to get up and dance. We're pumped about that, aren't we, Sean?
It is. It's exciting. We're back after a couple of years of the pandemic hiatus, and some of the things they have planned for those that are going to show up in Dallas, because this is a live event. You're going to absolutely be blown away. I'm just going to say this, Zoomzilla, and I'm leaving it at that. And that particular thing is going to blow your mind if you happen to listen. You got to get to Dallas, because we're going to be there. It's going to be old times. We're going to see each other. We're going to have some fun. The thing that's going to happen at this event is unlike any of the, well, it was 15 years. So it's now 18 years since the thing started. In the last 18 years, I don't know anything. And I just had a conversation with Garrett and Sylvia yesterday for about 20 minutes. And what they shared with me in the 20 minutes, I'm blown away. I'm like, I can't wait. It's going to get here too fast and it's going to go too quick. So I'm just excited.
And here again, I was a founder of the ANMP, the Distributor Rights Association. And it was a ragtag group of revolutionaries wanting to fight back against the big bad wolf, whichever network marketing company it was. And Garrett and Sean and a bunch of people came along and really righted the ship. But I'll tell you one thing right now, again, like Sean's retreat center, it starts with an idea and a bunch of dumb people just pressing it forward till it turns into something. That's what the ANMP is, and it is going to blow your mind. And when you get down there, there's only 300 seats available, which is nothing. They're probably already all gone. You want to get registered for that because it's going to be life-changing down there. And the rotation is you're not allowed to sit at a table twice. So the hot shots, the big guys, the Jeff Robertis, the Larry Thompsons, the Ron Henleys, the Sean Murphys, they're in a rotation going around, sitting at your table. And I remember when I did the auction, were you there for that when that was out? It was so embarrassingly bad because they didn't have it. We've just been a hot mess and it works. And I want you all to understand this business is not about your brain. It's about your heart and it's about your other people. And it is exemplified by 2 letters, SM, Sean Murphy. Don't you agree?
I totally agree.
Long speech.
So Sean, we've got a couple minutes left. Here's my final question for you. In this new 30-acre piece of land, that's a big piece of your legacy, I believe, that you are in the process of creating now. What is the mark that you want to leave on the world as you begin bringing people together in this new space?
I don't want somebody to remember the place. I want them to remember the present. And the present that they get to take with them, and the present they get to open up every single day, called their life being better. And when the second that they do that, when somebody realizes that their better doesn't have to be less for somebody else, when somebody realizes that that they're standing on the shoulders of giants, and when they learn to look down and say thank you, they also need to look up and say thank you to the people who are standing on their shoulders, but also to that universal source that they have that's filling them, that beats their heart right now, that's allowing them to take the notes, that's taking the notes. This idea of having a new thought on a daily basis that allows them to have the 0.1% Kaizen improvement on a daily basis. And Edison and Einstein both are recorded as saying, having said thank you 100 times a day. And if Einstein can say, I thank you 100 times a day and have some of the greatest thoughts of the universe show up to him, A dear friend of mine, Daniela, runs a gratitude call.
She's
and
the best.
her life has changed. So I want people to open up the present every day of the memory of the ranch and the stories they've got.
Holy mackerel. So next week's show is Dr. Luis Ariaza. I know he's a beast. He's going to be hysterical and a lot of fun. Then we've got Ken Walls after that.
That's going to be super.
Wow.
That's a guest I swiped from Richard Brook and had to confess. And, it's just amazing the people we get to talk to and the people you're going to get to talk to if you just constantly reach up and try to serve and give back like this one. And I want you to be like this one. I want you to be like Sean Murphy and just understand that it will pay off for you if you continue that mindset of giving and love over being the smartest or the coolest person in the room. So let's go. Why don't you get us out of here?
Sean, I just think so highly of you.
Yeah, you do.
And I'm really grateful you spent the time with us today. Congratulations on the new property. I can't wait to hear all the stories and memories to be made on that property. I can't wait to visit myself. And so thanks for being with us today. We'll see you next week on Legacy Leadership with Dr. Luis Ariaza. You'll have a great day.
Bye, 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 bye.
Bye for now.
Thanks, everybody.
And we're out. Don't hang up. Don't take him off Facebook. Wow, Sean. You are just such an amazing guy. And I love you. That's that simple. Now, do you remember he actually, what he's trying to do is send me subliminal messages to talk about something I did that was rotten. So Larry and Taylor Thompson had this big event and they had people there that you would not believe. And I'm sitting, do you remember that beautiful woman that was sitting right behind me that everybody thought I was with the whole time? Her name was Kathleen Paredes or something like that. And she was just strikingly beautiful. And she's just sat next to me the whole time. Like I looked like Hugh Hefner and I met her there. It was so funny. And so people would come and talk to me, pretending to talk to me to try to talk to her. But it ended up being just fantastic because I got to meet everybody, but I really didn't get to take very good notes. And it was a very good event. So finally, during a break, I just went up and Sean goes to take a leak and I took pictures of his entire notebook. And so, but like an idiot. And so I have all these tremendous notes of that unbelievable event and the notes are worth $1 million. But I probably should have asked Sean because I thought he would say yes, it would be no problem. But when he realized I'd stolen his notes, he was so taken aback. Like Tom Chenault has just violated.
So here's the freeze frame. Here's the rest of the story. I get a note. I have a note on my book that says, "Thanks, Tom." I'm like, "Thanks for what?" And I look at my book. I'm like, "Did he give me the book?" I go, "No, it's my own notebook."
That was it. I confessed right on the spot. Yeah. So what I did was I stole him and then wrote him a thank you note for letting me steal him. And so at the end of the day, the guy is the greatest. That wasn't why he yelled at me. I don't remember why he got so mad at me that time. But Sean, what's his last name?
Murphy.
Okay, good. Yeah. Anyway, that's hysterical.
We're best friends. We're best friends.
We are so tight. It's frightening. Yeah. So that's what's going to happen to you. That's what's going to happen to you. So I want you to think about that. Think about how you want your life to turn out and call him, go do his mastermind. I want to do your mastermind. But instead, I'm going to send him because I'm guaranteeing you they don't have bathrooms down there at this stage of the game. So we aren't dealing with that. Where's that? If you got 20 people sleeping and all you have is a deck,
so listen, where there's a will, there's a way. We have RVs. So all of these pull behind campers, some nice luxury campers are being pulled in and there's 2 to a camper and they're staying in campers.
That sounds like Fantasy Island in reverse. Okay, good. I'm going. Let's just take a note and make sure they build the thing first.
Right.
Man, that's going to be great. And it's an ongoing process. And you don't have any more. It's already sold out, the one next week, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I didn't screw up sales for it. I feel good about that. I just don't want him yelling at me again. All right, Sean, we love you to death.
Love you too.
Nobody won the 5 T-shirts. I love you so much. Take care of yourself.
We love you, Sean. See you
Bye-bye.
soon, buddy.
Love you all.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. And for